I want the real stuff, everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path, if you want it bad. I'm gonna show you where it's at, yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done, I'll be number one. Working hella hard until I get just what I want, yeah. Rises like the sun, yeah, fatal like a gun. Shooter's gonna shoot and I'm gonna shoot until I fall, yeah. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I
Mikasa?
Long, long ago, when our world was still young, and all manner of unknown things began to form, that which we call life was born. Throughout the span of time, life began to evolve. And as the conditions changed and became more complex, life sought out more than survival. It sought meaning. We as a species became arrogant in our conquests, thinking ourselves to be special, simply because of our ability to thrive and till the world to our design. And yet, in spite of all odds, one such ancient life form persisted through millennia. Refusing to pass on, it waited. Why? For what purpose? Perhaps it too was waiting for another chance to fight that inevitable doom waiting for us all. Or maybe, in its need to fulfill that instinct to persevere, by pure chance, it found a way. Or maybe there really is no deeper meaning to any of this after all. And all these years of suffering have all been for nothing. Well, regardless of how or why, our history began because one pitiful slave girl defied her master and stumbled into the power that changed everything. Yes, Eren's friend. That little girl was her. In her desire to find meaning, she was pushed to survive, and thus she became our founder, Ymir. I cannot pretend to understand it all, even after spending all this time here. But one thing is for certain. No matter how one may try to fight it, death is inevitable. So, why bother seeking out something as arbitrary as meaning at all? All these lives that never needed to suffer. All these paths created from arrogance and the desire to defy the very nature of this world. If she had just accepted her fate and freed herself from her suffering, as we all eventually do, perhaps all this could have been avoided. Maybe then we might have been spared from this existence. This place was born of that arrogance. Unable to move on from the will of the king, she was banished here, to this place free from death, obeying his desires, godlike in power, but forever a slave. With this earth, she creates the monsters that destroy and perpetuate the cycle of suffering.
So, this all began because of her. And this is the place free of death? But if she has all this power, why not use it to free herself?
So you've realized the conundrum. Very good. I have spent an astounding amount of time here trying to answer that question. Why didn't she exact her revenge on the man and people who enslaved her instead of serving them?
Maybe she couldn't. Some kind of condition to her power.
I too came to that initial conclusion. However, the more I watched this history, the less I was convinced that was the case. The power itself was not the issue. So could it have been her will? Was she incapable of separating her own desires from that of her abusers? Or was there some hidden need to belong? Was that her meaning? If so, then her suffering truly was great. In the end, Eren was able to understand her when I couldn't. That's why she went with him. He offered her something no one else could give her, and that was freedom.
So, is she finally free? Ymir, are we all free now?
Not yet.
But you showed her she's not alone anymore. If that's not enough, then what's she waiting for? For 2,000 long years, she's been waiting for someone to free her, to free us all. It is for this reason you are here. This power has shown me the paths ahead, branches of things that have passed, what could have been, and what can't be changed. And the paths built on their plans that I reject, leaving only one. When you wake up, you will forget what you learned, but not what you felt here. This will all feel just like a long dream, until that moment. Only then will you begin to understand. I have walked through these plains, through what's felt like eternity. Like our brother, I tried to see and understand. Through the combined power of the attack and founding titans, I learned to control what I saw, and I could see the results of all of their plans. I saw peace, but also endless destruction. Over and over and over again, with no end in sight. Seeing it, I knew I had to be the one to finish it. This never-ending cycle of hatred. But I also tried to save the ones dearest to me and change the flow of paths. At first, I tried to stop some things from happening, but I realized that to achieve that one goal, sacrifice was unavoidable. To destroy this ongoing cycle of hatred and achieve true freedom, I am prepared to sacrifice the world. So, Armin, I will keep moving forward until all my enemies are destroyed.